I'm not teaching, I am public learning, but if, what do I want to say? But hi and welcome to Learning for Life in UK test, part 645, while doing lunch training. And if you participate in the lunch training, that is at your own risk. And what we're doing in the second half of the video, and that are a bunch of isometric exercises in squat and lunge position. Now, we prepared a video about the law in the United Kingdom, the court system of the United Kingdom, and we haven't rehearsed it because let's just say we're using the first try to do it. We have time for around 3-4 full takes. So if we mess up earlier, we can even do another one. I have a second camera running, and now I try to say what we learned about the court system in the United Kingdom. The court system of the United Kingdom. It is basically split into two parts. The one is criminal law and the other one is civil law. Criminal law, these are serious cases like murder, assault, but also crimes against the public, like drinking in prohibited areas, or smoking in prohibited areas, or broader also carrying a weapon, or selling tobacco to people under 18. And civil law, these are civil matters, divorces, contracts, personal injury, money claims, these things. And there are different types of courts. Criminal law has, for minor criminal cases, the magistrate courts. And at the magistrate courts, there are the magistrates. And these magistrates, they are unpaid and not specifically legally qualified, but they receive training. And in Scotland, it is the Justice of Peace courts, and they are the Justice of Peace, and that's the same. They are also unpaid and not specifically legally qualified, but they receive training. In Northern Ireland, these are for minor criminal cases. Where it is in front of a deputy judge or a district deputy judge. For more serious criminal cases, there are other crown courts, and there it is in front of a judge and a jury. And the jury is picked at random from the electoral register, so from that where almost all the people of the United Kingdom are registered, so that they can vote. And we have to attend there. They have to attend there. And in Scotland, it is the sheriff court, where it is in front of a sheriff or a sheriff and a jury. And for Scotland, for very serious criminal cases, that is the High Court. And there are two verdicts at the Crown Courts. These are guilty and not guilty. They are spoken by the jury. The jury says guilty and not guilty. In Scotland, it can be also not proven, a third verdict. And in Scotland, it are 15 members of a jury, and in the rest, it are 12. And by the magistrate courts and the Justice of Peace courts, for the minor criminal cases, they are the magistrates or the Justice of Peace. They are saying the verdict and the sentence, so the penalty. By the higher cases, the Crown Courts and the Sheriff Courts or the High Courts in Scotland, for very high cases, the verdicts, so guilty or not guilty, or in Scotland and also not proven, they are set by the jury. And the sentence, the penalty, is then set by the judge. And there are youth courts, they are for people aged 10 to 17. But if a crime is very serious, then it goes also to the Crown Courts, 10 to 17. And parents and carers should attend. And the courts are closed, so photographs and names are not allowed in newspapers. And there are 3 specifically trained magistrates or a deputy judge. In Scotland, it is the children's hearing system, and in Northern Ireland, the youth conferencing system. Now, and for civil law, so personal injury, insults, or disputes about who pays for repair between the landlord and the tenant, contracts, divorces. There it are the other types of courts. There are the high courts for very serious cases, and the Court of Season for other serious cases in Scotland. So the High Court in England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. And then there is the small claims procedure for money claims, 10,000 in England, 5,000 in Scotland, and 3,000 in Northern Ireland. And the people are sitting together with a judge. They don't need a lawyer, and they're just sitting together with the judge in the room and trying to find a solution for their money dispute. And the idea is there that the people don't have to spend a lot of money on a lawyer and the whole court. It is just about money in these cases, and maximum 10,000 in England. And there is then the Court of Season for very high cases. I want to stop here. I just can't remember what was it. The county courts. When we start directly, we have time for one more. It were the county courts. No, I'm not this. It's criminal court. The county. I haven't even opened the page in one page. The county court and the sheriff court, and then the court of season. That's why I stopped, because I was wrong probably. The county courts and the sheriff courts. County courts, sheriff courts, high courts, and court of season. And then we don't know anything about these people. Okay. The court system of the United Kingdom. There are basically two main branches, the criminal law and the civil law. The criminal law, that is about serious cases like murder, assault, and also crimes against the public. Drinking in places where it is prohibited, smoking in prohibited places, or carrying a weapon, or selling tobacco to people under 18. Civil cases, these are disputes, divorces, money claims, personal injury, these type of stuff. And there are no different types of courts. The criminal cases, the minor cases, they are done at... We're going to stop thinking. They are done at magistrate courts. Magistrate courts, justice of peace courts, and then crown and sheriff courts and high court. And then we're having the county courts and the sheriff court and the high court and the court of season. Time for one more tip step. The court system of the United Kingdom. It is basically split into two parts, the criminal law and the civil law. Criminal law are serious cases, murder, assault, and also crimes against the public. Drinking in prohibited areas, smoking in prohibited areas, carrying a weapon, selling tobacco to people under 18. And civil cases, disputes, personal injury, disputes about money, divorce, family matters. And there are different types of courts. For the criminal law, for minor criminal cases, it the magistrate courts. And in Scotland, it are the justice of peace courts for minor criminal cases. And at the magistrate courts, there are the magistrates. At the justice of peace courts, there are the justice of peace. And they are both unpaid, and they are not specifically legally qualified, but they receive training. And they are then saying the verdict, that is guilty or not guilty. In Scotland, it can be also not proven. So in Scotland, guilty, not proven. In the rest, guilty or not guilty. And they are then also saying a sentence. For more serious criminal cases, there are the crown courts. And in the crown court, there is now a judge and a jury. In Scotland, there are the sheriff courts. There is a sheriff and a jury. And for very high cases in Scotland, it is the high court, where it is judge and jury. And the judge makes sure that it all goes properly according to the law. And the jury is saying the verdict, guilty or not guilty. And by the serious cases, then the judge says the penalty. By the minor cases, the magistrates and the justice of peace courts doing both, saying the verdict, guilty, not guilty, or not proven in Scotland, also possible. And then the verdict, and then the sentence, the penalty. And by the more serious cases, the jury is saying the verdict, guilty or not guilty, or not proven, and the judge is then saying the penalty, the sentence. And the jury is picked from the electoral register, and that is the big list in which almost all the people of the United Kingdom are registered, so they can vote. They are picked at random from it, and they have them to attend. Now, and for civil cases, so that was for murder, theft, assault, or more serious crimes, crimes against the public. For civil cases, contracts, disputes, money claims, family matters, there it are the county courts. And in Scotland, there it are the sheriff courts. And then also another splitting for more serious civil claims, there are the high courts in England and the court of season in Scotland. And there's something else, the small claim procedure. And that is if two parties are disputing about something about money, and if it's until 10,000 in England, 5,000 in Scotland, 3,000 in Northern Ireland, then they can meet in a room together with the judge, and they can then talk about how they want to end that dispute and that money claim. And the idea is here that they don't need the big court procedure, and they don't need a lawyer, whereas a judge. That would cost a lot of money, and it is just about that sum of money up to 10,000 in England, so that they have a pressure and a desire to come to an agreement. And that can be done also online. And that is according to the Life in UK test handbook on several pages. For example, 132. There's also written that the juries having 12 members in England and Scotland, Northern Ireland, in England and Wales and Northern Ireland, and in Scotland it's 15, the jury. Was it even right? I think it was right. Now I wanted to try it a bit out. Saying at the end, I did with the prompts when we did the video about the music of the United Kingdom. And I think it's quite good. Did we say the youth court? We didn't say the thing about the youth court. We said it in the first take. I was already wondering, we were so fast, suddenly. No, I don't know what we're going to do now. I think we're actually going to do a new take. This is so important, so good. We have information so good together. Why not do it another time? We will do now the lunch training, whatever we're going to do. We'll do lunch training, and in the next part we're either going to do a new take, or we're going on with being part of a community. Yeah. Now, the first exercise, we're warming a bit up. How are we doing that? Lunch training. So we're bringing the leg up, and foot pointing down, bringing it up and down, up and down, up and down. And then the other leg up, and we bring the foot up and down, down, up and down. Now the legs standing wide apart, and we're breathing in. And out. Okay. In. And out. And the last time in. Out. Breathe in and close the legs. And out. And the first exercise. Legs are standing wide apart. We're going into quarter squat, and we're pressing at the top against the leg. But this is the 6-pack squat squeeze. Now we're doing it on the other side. We're pressing against the top of the leg. Now we're going down into half squat, and we're pressing at the middle of the leg. On the other side, always just with one hand. And we're going down into 3/4 squat, and we're pressing close to the knee. And on the other side. Now we're doing the fast giraffe water pump. We're standing in 3/4 squat, we're pressing against the knee, and we're going towards the knee. On the other side. And again, press against the knee, and go towards it. And the last one. And now the propeller. Full squat, arms at the outside, over to one side. Press against the leg, look up to the hand, and have a little bend in the elbow. Then going into the middle, over to the other side, press against the leg and look up to the hand. To the middle and up. Now to the lunges. First 90-90 lunge, tall up with the back and press against the knee from the inside. Over to the other side, short and tight. Press against the knee. And over to the other side, 90, 135 degree lunge, tall up with the back and pull the leg up. And to the other side, 90, 135 degree lunge, tall up with the back and pull the leg up. The other side, 90, 150 degree lunge, tall up with the back and pull at the top of the shin bone. And over to the other side, 90, 150 degree lunge, tall up with the back and pull at the top of the shin bone. And last exercise, the rod jump, full lunge, tall up with the back and pull again at the top of the shin bone. Over to the other side, full lunge, tall up with the back and pull at the top of the shin bone. And we're stretching. One leg with the heel onto the ground, and we're pulling the toes up. Bring the foot to the left and pull the toes up. Foot to the right and pull the toes up. Just the leg up and move the leg from left to right. Other heel onto the ground, pull the toes up. Foot to the right, pull the leg up. Foot to the left, pull the leg up. Foot in the middle, pull the foot up. Move the leg from left to right. Legs shoulder over wide apart. Lift the arms up, breathe in. And out, open chest to the sky. Again, in and up. And out and down. Again, in and up. And out, we're going down. And we're breathing in. I forget we don't have time. For leg stretching, we're doing the crossing exercise. We're breathing in. Out. The last time in. Out. Breathe in across the legs. And out. That was the fast lunge training. I thank you very much and until next time.